Welcome to the Martin Bailey Photography Podcast. It's April 18, 2018, and this is episode 615. After 3 months of running at full speed, last week I needed a rest. Not being one for just sitting down and doing nothing, I changed gears and gave myself a week to make some background music for a video that I'd put together to show some of the large format prints emerging from the printer, the work involved in setting up the gallery space, and a sneak peek at Canon's exclusive showroom and museum space in their headquarters. This week's audio podcast that you're listening to right now is primarily to tell you that the video is ready to watch and provide a gallery of the 10 images that I displayed in the exhibit at Canon's headquarters so that you can see them in detail. These are both on this week's blog post at mbp.ac/615, so please do go over and take a look, if you're not already there, of course. As we're talking now, I'll go on and explain more about my backstory and why creating the music was my way of relaxing, just in case you're interested. So I guess there are almost 2 podcasts in one this week, but only the video is really photography related. I do hope you enjoy the video. It's almost 8 minutes long and it's in 4K but shot with my iPhone 7. And for most of the footage I was using a DJI Osmo Mobile to help keep the camera steady. I actually found that the DJI software camera was a little bit jerky at times and had some fun with the white balance in the showroom too, but hopefully that won't spoil it too much for you. Note that I discussed many of the aspects of this project, including my choice of media, some printing tips and other information in last week's podcast and blog post at mbp.ac/614 if you're interested. So, to give you a bit of a backstory on why the music was my way to relax, 8 years ago when I incorporated my company and photography became my day job, I felt to a degree that I needed a hobby again. Of course, photography is still an amazing form of stress relief for me, but it's not always possible to get out and shoot, and that's where music comes in. I've been around music as long as photography when I think about it. I had guitars as a kid and played the sax and sang in a blues band when I was 18 or 19, and since played the didgeridoo for a while, as well as the harmonica. I just love tinkering with music, so when I found myself with a little bit of downtime as I recovered from my brain tumor surgery in 2011, I decided to buy an electric piano and continued to pursue my secondary passion of making music. I still don't play the piano well, but I can play enough to string together chords that I find pleasing and enough to punch those into my computer. On and off since 2011, when I get a little spare time, I often either study music theory or I'll practice the keyboard or drum pads, and this has become my way of relaxing in the evenings or when getting out with the camera isn't practical. With the Hokkaido tours, then working on the Canon headquarters exhibit while catching up on business kept me incredibly busy from the beginning of January until the first week in April, and I really needed a break. You will have noticed that I've missed my release schedule a few times over the past couple of weeks, and this is part of the reason. But the reason for missing last week is because I simply decided to cut myself some slack and just make some music. For those of you that actually make music yourselves, my results are probably laughable, but it felt great to just get my urgent communication out of the way each day, then just sit in front of my DAW or digital audio workstation and mess around. I started by very geekily recording the sound of my Canon ImagePrograph Pro 4000 printer printing and created a drum set of various samples of the printer sounds for use in the drum track. Then I worked on a few different chord sequences and built out the other parts, gradually building up my 8-minute background music for the video that I had edited down in just a few hours a week ago now. As I say, the music isn't brilliant, but it served its function, and now, a week on, I'm totally refreshed and happy to have spent some time to create this. I actually should spend a few more days on it to really polish it up, but this week I have a bunch of other stuff to do, and I can't afford to spend that time, so you'll have to suffer the 3/4 complete version. Or turn your speakers down as you enjoy the main feature for this week, which is the resulting video. Just in case you're interested, I have also included a list of the software and the synthesizer plugins, etc. that I used to make the track, but I won't bore you with those now in the audio. I just thought you might be interested in my reasoning, and again, this doesn't mean that photography is any less important to me. I'm not sure it would be a very interesting life if we were restricted to just one interest, and I'm sure many of you have other ways to relax outside of your photography. In fact, just for fun, how about leaving a comment on the blog at mbp.ac/615 and let me know what you do to relax, whether photography is your day job or not. I'd love to hear from you. So thanks very much for listening today. Please do go and check out the video. If you enjoy this podcast, please share a link with your friends and subscribe in iTunes or your favorite podcast program to ensure uninterrupted delivery. If you have a moment to rate the podcast or leave us a review in iTunes, that helps to keep us relevant in the huge number of podcasts out there now. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter and Google+, etc. and links to everything that I'm up to are at martinbaileyphotography.com, so do drop by and take a look. I'll be back next week with another episode, but in the meantime, you take care and have a great week, whatever you do. Bye bye.